No. You do dishes for a week. I have allergies, so it shouldn't count.
It's time for God of the Week. It's time for God of the Week. It's time for God of the Week. It's time for God of the Week.
So in my second semester as an informatics major in college, I had this class. It was called Introduction to Electronic Media. And it was about I honestly can't tell you what that class was about. Thank goodness it's not important to this story. So anyway, we had this group project where we had to choose a topic, and my group chose civil discourse. So a little bit of backstory. This was like 2016, maybe early 2017. So this was coming like right off of election year. Trump had just been elected. So basically everyone just hated each other. Everyone was at each other's throats. So my group, we all agreed that, you know, people weren't talking. They were just slinging insults at each other, and that it wasn't really doing anything. So we decided that we were gonna make a podcast and talk about it. So the night before we recorded this podcast, I did a bunch of research and just kind of looked in to see what other people had to say about this issue. When I was doing this research, I came across this one article that was super helpful. I can't remember exactly what it was called or what the source was. I know it was a trustworthy source because it was for a class, but I don't remember what the source was. If I can find that, then I'm gonna link it in the description so you guys can check that out as well. But in the article, they talked about this study that was done, and it started like in the 90s, and I think it went to like 2010 or 2011, so it was over like 2 decades. And what they found was that in the 90s, when it comes to social issues and where people fell on the political spectrum, they found that it was a nice bell curve. The majority of people weren't far to the left or far to the right, they were right in the middle. But over only 2 decades, people started to segregate really rapidly. So by the end of the study, the bell curve had diminished, and the people who claimed that they were either far left or far right had significantly increased. And so they started theorizing in the article, why is this? Why have people segregated so much? And what they came up with was tribalism. And so the whole idea about tribalism is that we look for like-minded individuals or people who have the same interests. And when we find those people, we cling and we make a tribe. So what happens when another tribe attacks our tribe is that we double down and we get defensive. And in the 4 years since I did this group project, I've seen this firsthand. I've seen it get worse and worse. So we need to find a way out of this rut that we've gotten into, because life and people are not as black and white as they seem. There's a lot of gray area. And the ironic thing is that there is a solution to this, but it's the easiest thing in the world and it's the hardest thing in the world at the same time. I personally believe that the solution is that we need to listen. And I unapologetically throw this at both sides no matter what the issue is. Listen to each other. The final thing that I want to say about this is that I think when all is said and done, I think it comes down to pride. We have prideful hearts and we don't want to let up and give in to the fact that maybe we're wrong. Maybe we don't have it all figured out. Maybe life isn't as simple as it seems. Maybe people aren't as simple as they seem. And this kind of goes back to Thought of the Week 4. Like, we're all the villains of someone else's story. And every single one of us is at least a little bit of a jerk, let's be honest. So let's start thinking about other people. So this is what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna try to figure out what tribes I belong to. And then I'm just gonna make a conscious effort to start listening to people. And more than just listening, instead of responding to what they say with a personal story, I'm gonna ask them a question that gets in a little bit deeper. For instance, if I have a conversation with someone that has a totally different view on the Black Lives Matter movement than I do, and they come out telling me why racism doesn't exist anymore, instead of just dismissing them and calling them out and telling them why they're wrong, I'm gonna dig in a little bit deeper and I'm gonna ask them why they feel the way that they do. Because I guarantee you, people are gonna be a whole lot more willing to listen to you if you listen to them. Now, I'm not naive. I really do firmly believe that because of the human condition, we're never gonna get to a perfect spot where we do this well. But that shouldn't stop us from trying. So that's it. That's my opinion. That's my take on this whole thing. But listen, I wanna know what you guys have to say. What do you guys believe? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I totally off base? Do you have other information that I'm just not thinking about? Let me know in the comments. I would love to discuss this stuff with you guys. And man, if you have advice or suggestions for me, I would love to hear those as well. Also, remember to like and subscribe. That helps support me and lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Cool, that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Double peace.